Car wash soaps. We have a huge range. It can be a bit overwhelming. So I've lined them all up and I'm going to run through them all so you can understand what the differences are and make a better decision on what soap's right for you. Now I've got them in a bit of an order. We have basic soaps over here that are designed for pretty much just cleaning the car. We have high foaming soaps where the formula is designed for use optimally with a foam cannon so that you get a real thick foam and coverage over the vehicle. Then we have soaps that are designed to be adding gloss. They have like synthetics and waxes and gloss enhancers and even ceramics. Then we have some specialty washes like matte finish. If you have a matte car, your decision's real easy. Don't buy any of these, only buy that one. You don't want to be adding gloss or shine or anything to your car if it's a matte finish car. Bug and tar remover, you can add this to all of these other soaps, so you don't have to just use this by itself. It plays quite nicely with the other soaps. And then clean slate, so if you're trying to remove old waxes or sealants, this is what you use. I keep this next to the Roundup because I don't want anyone visiting and accidentally washing all my waxes off with this soap. It's a great tool though. If the waxes or sealants are fresh, like if you just put on Jet Seal or enhanced wax and you're trying to get it off, then you may need a couple of washes with this if it's fresh. If I buy a car that's new, I use that to take off all the whatever the heck they had on it before I start. Then I clay it. Then I start putting on things that I know and I know that work. Right, so basic soap, Mr. Pink. If you're not sure, this pH neutral, it's just a really good soap. It's not going to really do much else. It's just going to clean the vehicle, but it's going to do a real good job of it. Tough Mudder is a step up in aggression, but it's also then a very sort of similar soap. So those are sort of what I would call a basic good safe soap. Then if you're wanting to add foam, using it in a foam cannon, these are the formulas that are designed to be adding foam. Max Suds was one of the earlier formulas of Chemical Guys, and it foams really well. And then these are the more newer versions that really are just different fragrances and smells of the same formula. They either the honeydew or the watermelon we stock here. They foam really good. These are some of the ones that I have at home. And Sticky Snowball is a new formula. It's a bit different. It foams really well and it clings, but it's not as thick and puffy foam. It's more of a wet looking foam, if that makes any sense. But they all work really well, so it comes down to preference. This one, for some reason, is hard to contain in the packaging. So if you order this off us, you'll probably find a little bit of extra Glad wrap around it, or shrink wrap, I should say, because we don't want it linking in the bottle. So those are for foaming. Now, if you're wanting to add shine and clean better, these are the ones to choose from. My favourite is Citrus Wash and Gloss. You got to shake it because it'll separate in the bottle, but it's a really great formula. It adds wax and gloss and shine. The newer version of a wash and wax is Supreme from Chemical Guys. We have this. It's a limited run, so interesting to sort of compare the two, but that's probably an equivalent. I have a black car, so at home I have these two, and I alternate between the two, between Blacklight and Citrus Wash and Gloss. The Citrus Wash and Gloss is the more aggressive soap that we have here, so if your car's really dirty, that will be the one I'd go for. If you've got a race car covered in like tar and burnt rubber and stuff like this, I'd be using that mixed with some bug and tar in the same foam can. These are some of the earlier synthetic formulas from Chemical Guys, and they have really good high-end quality ingredients in them too. So the VO7 and the what they call it, the Gloss Auto Wash, really good soaps, and this is a more newer formula, similar to Citrus Wash and Gloss, better emulsified, so it's all blended together. You don't have to shake it as much, but in my experience, not as aggressive and effective as the citrus washing cloths. They're all really great soaps. I mean, you can't really go too wrong here. The Hydrosuds is different. So this is designed for ceramic coated cars. You can use it on non-ceramic coated cars, but what it's doing is it's got a small element of the SiO2 that you put that is included in the ceramic coating to just sort of keep that protection up as a bit of a topper, if you like. You can use it on a normal car and it will add a little bit of beading and protection, but not as much as having a full ceramic coating. It's a great soap, so if you've got Hydro, anything from the Hydro range on your car, like Hydro Slick or Hydro Charge, then this is a good one to be washing with. So for shiny cars, that pretty much covers that. If you have a matte finish car, stick to matte specific paint. The reason matte cars look dull, or matte finish if you like, is because they have a rough surface, so the light is bouncing off at different angles. All of these soaps are trying to make your car shiny. If you use them on a matte finish car, it's going to be trying to achieve the wrong thing. So stick to matte specific soaps. There's also a quick detailer in that range. The bug and tar I talked about, you can use it direct on stubborn bug bits on the car, but normally I just add it to my wash bucket and my foam cannon as I'm washing, because it'll play quite well with the soaps, and that is a great combination, citrus washing cloths and bug and tar, if you've got a gnarly thing to clean off. And then clean slate I talked about before. This is a specific soap just for removing old waxes and sealants. If they're fresh, you'll take a few washes to get them off. If you've put on a sealant, we see a bit with people with matte finish cars that leave the jet seal matte on too long before buffing off, or they haven't buffed it all off, and now they've got white streaky marks they want to get off, and it's hard to buff off. Often the easiest bet is just to wash it off with a few washes of this and then start again. There's also a new soap from Zephyr, which we also stock. They target more into the truck market, but it's actually a really good soap for your cars and things as well. So it's a good sort of quality wash and conditioner in there. And if you weren't confused already, we also have waterless washers. These are good if you've got water restrictions, or if you're going to a trade show or something like that, or a car show where you can't get a hose or they won't let you use the hose. You have a waterless wash, which is like a spray and wipe. Now, the trick with those is to use lots of microfiber cloths. You have an eco version, which is a concentrated version, so you'd need a separate dilution bottle, but you're going to get more bang for buck on this. This makes up heaps. And then a bit different is the rinse-free. So with a rinse-free wash, it's different to a waterless wash. You do use a bucket, so you have a bucket with water in it and the soap. So you're washing like you would a normal bucket wash. You use a normal wash mitt, but you don't have to rinse it off. So that's got probably a little bit more lubrication than you would be getting with just a normal straight out waterless wash. Obviously these are from Chemical Guys. They're all from, and Zephyr's from the LA as well. So they're in the land of water restrictions. That's why they have quite a good coverage across those sort of products there. But we even have someone in Otago that likes to use this in winter because he doesn't want to wash his car outside in the cold, which I thought was quite clever. So those are the soaps that we have. And yes, it's a lot of soaps, but it is nice to have the choice. So you can pick the ones you like, and you can try different soaps and add a bit of a variety, you know. These are very similar, so sometimes it's nice to, you know, change up the fragrance and go with a different soap. At home, what I use, so I have a range of coloured cars. I have a black car, I have a silver car, and I have a white car. Most of them, or all of them, are European. One of them was before, it's an old car, so it was before clear coat. So my go-to citrus washing gloss on the black car, I normally always use Black Light. I mean, they're a bit cagey with the exact formulas, but I do find it works really well on black cars. I do have a family member that used to have a black car, now has a white car, still uses that on their white car, and they reckon it's great. So I suppose it can work there. Yeah, for a basic soap, so we have a lot of car detailers that will have these two in their arsenal. So they'll use this for a basic wash, and then if it's a dirty wash, they will use that. Now, a little pro tip, when you're seeing these videos where they're foaming on and they're blasting off and they're not touching it with a mitt, most of that isn't just down to the soap. It's also about the layers of protection. So your paint is rough and porous, and dirt will get in the pores of the paint, and it can be hard to clean that off. Now, if you've got a chemical that you can spray on and will completely remove that, that might seem like a good idea at the time, but you've got to ask yourself, what's that doing to your paint? You know, you don't want to have the soap and the chemical so aggressive that it can remove any possible thing without ever having to use a wash mitt. The main trick to getting that happening right is to put layers of smooth protection on it. Now that could be as simple as a wax, or it could be more enhanced waxes with sealants and things like that so that they last longer. My go-to was Jet Seal. Now I'm using a lot the Auto Stolz Enhanced Wax, which is quite new. Similar products work really well. You just put them on, let it haze a bit, buff them off, and then you've got a nice smooth protection. Yeah, and then you can also put ceramics on as well, same sort of thing. And there's trade-offs with longevities and how easy they are to apply. But I'm not going to go into that now. You can look at that in our protection and shine section. I hope this helped with the soaps. There's another section where we talk about buckets and foam cannons and things like that. So you click on there if you need to know more. I hope this helped. Let us know what your favorite soap is, and yeah, what do you think of them all? And thanks for your interest. See ya.